Hello and welcome in our main story in the program today. For quite some time, growth prospects for the economy has greatly been affected by weather-related shocks. Malawi, being an agrarian economy, has in the recent past faced a number of challenges, including floods and drought, which has led to various effects in as far as output is concerned. A recent report by German Watch shows that Malawi is among 10 countries whose future is at great risk due to weather-related shocks. Our journalist Yamigan Kajaje has the whole story in this report.
The report further shows that signs of escalating climate change continue to be seen as the impacts from extreme weather events hit poorest countries the hardest. Such countries, including Malawi, have a lower coping capacity, needing more time to rebuild and recover. Meanwhile, environmental experts hold that if climate change is not managed, it could have adverse impacts on the local economy. Civil Society Network on Climate Change National Coordinator Julius Ngoma says Malawi's economy is at a disadvantage, being agro-based.
Most of the parts of the country will be, are already experiencing impacts of climate change, like as a result of the frequent droughts and the floods that we've been, experiencing for the last 2 decades. So that has already resulted in a lot of, problems to our economy, especially those as stemming from the fact that our economy is agro-based. So when we have droughts or when you have floods, for sure, our agriculture sector is affected, and for sure our exports is going to be affected because, for example, some of the crops that we grow and harvest, the same crops that we are also exporting to aid our foreign exchange and also improve our economy. So that in a way, there's no doubt that if we are having an economic decline in the country, it's one way as a result of the impacts of climate change.
Department of Climate Change and Meteorological Services Director Jolamu Kokwe adds that if left unchecked, climate change may lead to increase in poverty levels in the country.
Malawi is already a poor country. Malawi, it means when we say poor, it means we have people who can't put food on the table on daily basis or 3 times a day, which means they are lacking in food. Food is produced because of the agricultural systems. But if we have frequent dry spells, if we have droughts, it means that sector of agriculture is heavily impacted. That sector of agriculture means food production will be very low. And even the quality of food also be very poor. And you find that the people will even get to poor and poor. Even those who are even growing crops like tobacco, tea and the like. Because of if there is very little rains or the drought, it means the production levels also go down. They want to be getting much tobacco. They want to be getting much of whatever cash crop they would like to get money. So it means in that particular year when there's drought or dry spell, it means they will not get as much as they were expecting. And therefore, if they had probably they had even borrowed, they had got a loan from the bank to grow such kind of a crop. It means now they can't even pay back to the banks, and it means they will get even much poorer and poorer. Particularly the small holder farmer, you will even get much poorer and poorer because you have nowhere else to get a replacement in terms of if your seedlings die in the farm. Because of a dry spell that will occur at the very beginning of the season, it means he has to probably just abandon the whole business of growing a crop. And then even the mid-season dry spells, when the crop has grown very well, probably it was about to be coming up with the fruits or getting or even flowering. If it dies at that stage, it means it's a total disaster. You can't replant, and it means it's a total loss, and therefore we are talking about poverty levels here. It means they are going down. It means the poverty levels will even rise because of the production has gone down.
Earlier this year, Forestry and Natural Resources Minister Nancy Tembo said the country would access 2-year funding through the International Institute for Environment and Development, amounting to 193 million kwacha, for use in implementing climate change adaptation and resilience activities in the country.
Now, it's been 1 year since the change of governments in the country, which saw the Tonse Alliance ascending to power. Now, 1 year down the line, how has the economy fared? This is a question our journalist Chimwemwe Mangazi posed to economist Bechani Cheleni.
There are two things here. There is the short-term issues and the long-term. There are a number of areas has tried to do the best. For example, the AIP, we have seen that the farmers they have harvested quite enough. The campaign promise was 100%, but they managed to reach about 78% or thereabout, which is quite high compared with the past when it was always below 50%. So this is something that we can say it's quite a good achievement. We have seen, for example, more going to NIF, although the disbursement has not been as expected, but there has been more going there. Expansionary monetary policies, they have been maintained. There we have seen, for example, lower interest rates in terms of the liquidity reserve requirement being lowered as well, which means that more resources that can go to the private sector. Credit to the commercial banks, it has gone up by about 8% or thereabout, which is something that is we can talk about. But also with that, then we have seen that inflation has continued to be in single digit, and that is quite a good thing as well. However, we know and we do understand that there are some areas where I think the economy has not behaved very well, especially in terms of unemployment. Not many people have been employed there, or in fact, because of the COVID-19 issue, many people have actually lost jobs than gained the jobs themselves, and that is quite something that is concerning.
Remember, this is Business Time. It's a magazine program where we bring you major business and economic news stories that are making headlines in the country. We'll be right back.
Excuse me, madam. Stop billing. I'm taking back all these goods to the shelves.
What's wrong, sir?
Never mind. I have just changed my mind.
Excuse me. I just noticed you returned all the goods you meant to buy. What went wrong?
Some of these products are not originally made here in Malawi.
But these goods have a logo to authenticate them. And we manufacture them ourselves.
Then it means you're not registered with Buy Malawi strategy. This logo here with a tick is not correct.
How?
All products and services registered with Buy Malawi strategy have an original logo approved by government through the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Tourism that really authenticates your product as a Malawian product. Now, once you register, your product and service will be recognized as Malawian. Look, we must buy Malawi to build Malawi. You can find out more from Buy Malawi Secretariat or call them on 01 770 244 0993 707 729 or 0999 528 510. You can also simply email info@buymalawi.mw.
Buy Malawi, kondeni kunyadira za Malawi. Tikamagula.
Welcome back. Remittances are seen as one of the major sources of foreign exchange to countries like Malawi. Of course, Malawi has been a predominantly importing and consuming nation, which has led to continuous forex shortages in the country. Now, experts feel if the country had made the most of revenue trickling in from outside sources, there is potential that it could replace some of the deemed major sources of forex. One of the players in the financial market is FDH Money Bureau, which sees transactions of money, and its managing director is Daniel Pinto. We caught up with him to say how business has fared in the first 6 months and how remittances are seen to be affecting economic trends in the country.
Well, the Bureau has two core businesses. The first is Forex. We buy and sell cash Forex. Our main currency is the US dollar. That seems to be the preferred currency in Malawi. But we also do trade in the ZAR, that's the rand, pound, euro, and other regional currencies. So the second part of our business now is international remittances, sending and receiving money back home. Of course, our core part of the business is the receiving part, because we have a lot of Malawians who actually reside outside Malawi, a good number in South Africa, the UK, Europe, the US, and other countries in Africa. So those guys send back home quite a lot. So we facilitate the receiving of that money that's sent back home. So in essence, those are two major parts of our business. For international remittances, we also facilitate sending out. So you probably have maybe a friend, you want to send money as a gift. You have a child who's learning outside the country, you want to send some money to them. But you can also use our platforms to do that.
Okay, we are speaking at a time when almost each and every sector of the economy and almost each and every country across the globe has been affected by the COVID pandemic. How is business from the side of FDH Money Bureau?
Well, it's been challenging with the pandemic, not only for us as a business, but also for the customers whom we're there to serve. You will recall, and this has been widely covered by news organizations, a lot of people lost their jobs. So as I said, one of the core businesses is people sending money back home, and us facilitating that. So with a lot of people losing their jobs or getting half pay, or even being in a situation where there's a lockdown, that really made it very difficult for people to send money back home. I think a very good example is when we had a lot of lockdowns across Africa, and in Malawi, we didn't have a lockdown per se, but things were a little bit tight in essence. I remember our volumes dropped by 70%. It just signified how bad things were. A lot of people were uncertain, so that affected a lot of things. Now going into our forex business, predominantly we transact when people travel. If people are not traveling, then it's hard for us to transact. So we can only sell if people are traveling. We can only buy if people are traveling outside the country. So that's how we sell. If people are traveling inside the country, that gives us the opportunity to buy. So we can only buy and sell if people are traveling. So with the movements that were really restricted across Africa and in Malawi in particular, that affected the buying and selling of things. So it was quite a tough year. But nevertheless, we survived. I think there was some form of growth, good growth that we experienced during the last year, even though there was COVID. And I think in particular, it represents the resilience of the sector that we are in. Because we deal with international remittances, and international remittances are very personal. Because when somebody's sending money back home, it's because people need maybe money for medical reasons. Maybe they want to buy groceries, or they need it for school fees, which are all urgent issues. So we saw how people still were able to take the leader that they have and still send it back home, and that's the beauty of, I think, Malawians as a whole in terms of their culture and how they look at sending money back home and just giving assistance to their relatives. So it has been a mixed bag, but we did still achieve some growth.
Let's narrate a little further, focusing on the first 6 months of the year 2021. How has been business this far?
Well, there are a couple of things that have gone on well for us. We definitely have increased the number of channels through which Malawians can receive money from. With what we realize is with Malawians are in different parts of the world. In certain parts of the world, certain international remittance companies are strong. So when you look at Western Union MoneyGram, which we do right now, it's mostly strong in the Western countries, the US and Europe. You look at Hello Paisa, Mukuru, Mamani is strong in South Africa. So what we've done is to grow the number of partners that we're working with. We used to have predominantly 2 partners, Western Union MoneyGram. We've grown that to Mukuru, Hello Paisa, Mamani, Small World. So that has helped us reach more Malawians across the globe.
Now, moving on with the program, one of the country's estate agents, Chingonga, says it has invested in a project aimed at putting up modern but affordable houses in Lilongwe City. Stella Banda is its managing partner and sheds more light on the project to our journalist, Matthews Kasanda.
I'm Stella Banda. I work for Chingonga Estate Agents as the managing partner. So the project is to create Eden Gated Community. Right now there's an already existing Eden Estate, so they're extending to create a gated community. Chingonga Estate Agents came in as the exclusive agent that will be facilitating the marketing and the sale of the project. So basically what it is that there'll be land that people will buy, and when they buy the land they will have 3 different house designs to choose from. And when they build the houses, the place itself will have different amenities like a golf course, a clubhouse, a spa, a gym, a tennis court, and a basketball court. Basically, that's the concept. So this will benefit a lot of Malawians, like you're already saying, people who have skills. There will be the project itself. This is the second phase of it. The first phase is the existing Eden Estate. This is the second phase. So the second phase, we're going to have 29 house plots to be built there, and then we have 29 house plots and 14 apartment plots. So on all of these structures, they will need people to build on them with different skills, architects, people who come there with their different kind of skills for building. So those are people that will benefit from it. The community around it is also going to benefit, because already there are projects that Eden Estates is working with the community, like they support people who are skilled in football skills, and there's a permaculture project that is ongoing. So already around the area, people are already benefiting from the project. As Chingonga is the exclusive agent for this, the first point of contact is Chingonga Estate Agents. So you express your interest, we'll take you there for a site visit, and then people can pick their plots. Once you pick your plot, we come to the payment terms now, where you pay 50% of the asking price, and then the remaining 50% in a period of 6 months. We have banks that are on board providing mortgages, FTH Bank and National Bank. With FTH Bank, the plot itself is going to be collateral. With National Bank, they're using the normal mortgage system.
Now, in other business news, a new application has been launched in the country which would see people accessing various services within their localities at ease. William Sitinga is its developer and shares the rationale behind the introduction of the application.
One of the applications that we started selling is Service Pool. Service Pool means service pool, a pool of service providers. So this one, we've gone a long way. Since our launch in August 2020, we have been able to register 607,000 users who have the application on their phone. Very active users, about 102, who we track as searching on the app. But we are very happy with the progress, because in Malawi there are about 2.4 million internet users. And our target is that by 2022 December, all people who are using internet in Malawi should have the app, should be aware of the app. Our service pool, what happens is we are keeping like a database of all service providers, from funeral service providers, garages like mechanics, electricians. When I say electricians, I mean established electricians, like those people who have a workshop or have a base. Mechanics, we're also talking of people who have a workshop, like plumbers, the people that are registered. These people register on the app as a service provider. They're also a user, because they are a service provider of one service or two, but they may require the service of other people.
Well, with that story, we've also come to the end of today's edition of the program Business Time. It's a magazine program where we bring you major business and economic news stories that are making headlines in the country. On behalf of the entire production team, my name is William Kumwembe. Always remember, if it doesn't make money, then doesn't make sense. Stay safe and bye for now.